we'll put it like that.
Nice.
What's it like? I was actually there in attendance in Cleveland for Coe's first career NFL touchdown, which was awesome. And,
Awesome.
It was a great game. You could hear me on camera. I was just screaming, "Say it ain't so, Coe! Say it ain't so!" Sadly, from there, the game kind of went off the rails a little. That was the last high moment of that game, but it was a great game. Overtime loss, fun time.
Yeah.
But how was that moment for you? Seeing the first, whether it was on TV, in person, wherever you were, seeing his first NFL touchdown. How was that?
Well, dude, I mean, we were at home because it was a away game. We don't travel to a lot of the away games because we can get into that later. But, to watch that and to think I wished I was there live. So to have your video was so cool. And just that, hey, this is so cool. I mean, that was so cool for us. Catching it from Tom Brady, right? Like he's got the ball yet. I mean, first NFL touchdown means a lot, right? I mean, as a dad, this is so cool to see. It was fun to watch. And, it didn't have the outcome we wanted, but still the same. What a memory! What a memory to have, right? So,
and honestly,
cool.
those. One of the best guests ever, the Buccateers in the house tonight. You guys hear him on Tampa radio all the time. He's one of the best in the business. My favorite personal in the business. That's why I'm elated tonight. Growing up in the Chicago area, you're used to sports radio. That's what gets me through the day. So this man does help get me through the day, I will say, with the Pat and Aaron show at work. Nothing like it. So it's incredible. It looks like we got Stunna bumbling in. I'm Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little cleared. But we're joined by Pat Donovan.
It looks like Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like you got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
And he was trying to pull me in big time. And then I was like, hey, nothing happened with Indianapolis yet. Like, I really want to give Indy a chance. And then also I talked to Cody Gruden, once he took over Rich McCannum, still like, well, look, I was like, y'all just give me the opportunity to explore free agency, see what's going on, and then kind of make us do it.
All right, everyone, you are tuned into the Buccateers, a wide receiver, Kalen Geiger, and we are about to have a great pod. This is the Buccateers. You're tapped in, and here we go. Shout out to the great Corey Hayes reposting the program at bodyslam.net. Speaking of bodyslam.net, it's Elimination Chamber Week. Wednesday Night Dynamite. Oh boy, wrestling is here. Meet and greets are happening all over Chicago, some free, some not. We're going to fill you in on that. We got a lot of Bucs and Colts NFL Combine rumors swirling and twirling. We're going to tell you guys why not to worry about Mike Evans going anywhere here on the program. Feels like 2 years ago, damn, all over again. We got UFC Fight Night in Mexico this week. That'll be a fun one as well, and a lot more to talk about here on the Buccateers podcast, Pigskin and Piledrivers, episode 3, with our great intro song, courtesy of our friends on YouTube over at A Dude's a Monster. Always a good time with him, and always a good time with Joey Nips. Joey, how the hell you doing? A lot to talk. Welcome back. We've had a lot of busy days behind us, ahead of us, and in between, my friend. All good stuff.
Fired up. Nothing like better than fight night, I'm calling it. We got so much going on. NFL is going to start heating up, and we're going to Elimination Chamber. I can't wait to be there, meet and greet and all. Amped up to the max for the weekend.
Going to be incredible. It's a whirlwind. Wrestling weekends are always a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to helping take over Chicago for the Chamber of Elimination. J-Lo, A lot of Bucs rumors twirling and swirling. I know you were in Disneyland, Joey, or Disney World. That would have been a long drive to Disneyland. But Joey and I were at Windy City Bowls. I was in Wisconsin. We had weddings. Just so much. USA wins the gold. A lot of good stuff since we last talked, brother. How you doing?
Good, man. Good. Yeah, what a way the weekend ended. USA getting the goal after 40 years of waiting. Congrats to them. Shout out to them. And Disney World, you can never go wrong when you're entertaining a teenager. It's always fun. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Emod texted in that he's tuned into the show. So there we go. Emod somehow found his way to the program. He'll be with us at the Elimination Chamber this Saturday. Good times there. Speaking of Saturday and this weekend and good times, the NFL Combine provides a lot of good times, fellas. It happens in the great state of Indiana, in the great city of Indianapolis. My apologies, but it is a loaded week. So we're going to go over the Combine schedule and what you guys think of the Combine. If you guys have any favorites during the Combine or what you guys think about the Combine. We know there's always a lot of interesting stuff. Almost at a WWE match there between Ian Rappaport and Jordan Schultz last year. So that was pretty funny, but always a lot of good stuff. So it is the Combine week, and it is coming to Indianapolis Thursday, February 26th through Sunday, March 1st. Lucas Oil Stadium does a lot of the heavy lifting for that. The schedule is as followed. Gates open at Lucas Oil 1 to 7 o'clock. At the Combine Experience, drills start at 3. That's Thursday. That's Eastern time. That's for place kickers, defensive linemen, and linebackers. On Friday, it's tight ends and D-backs, and that's from gates open at 1 o'clock Eastern, and they remain open till 7 o'clock Eastern. The actual event starts at 3 Eastern. Saturday is QB, wide receiver, running back, really the fun day for offense there. Gates do open at 11 a.m. Eastern, remain open until 7 p.m. Eastern. The event kicks off at 1 p.m. Eastern. And then Sunday wraps it up with the big boys, the big fella, the trenchmen, the offensive linemen. Event starting at 1 Eastern, gates open 11 to 4. Everything in between. We know there's been plenty of interviews going on. Bucs and Colts represented well there. I know Rick Stroud's there, Jenna Lane's there, Greg Allman's there, Colts have radio guys there. So our teams are heavily in the mix. But J-Lo, here we are. Here we go. Another big checkpoint in the offseason is right here, right now, with the NFL Combine. I know you're a big college prospect guy. What's your thoughts on the Combine, being in Indianapolis, having all these kids, loaded schedule, fun weekend for any football fan on our hands?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's tradition, especially being a football fan growing up, watching these kids coming from college to the pro league. There's a lot of people in there doing the general manager mode, whatever, scouting some of these prospects. But no, it's really intriguing. I mean, there's a lot of potential on the defense side of the ball, which we really need for the most part. So I'm looking forward to watching most of it when I can, or catch some of the highlights. And it's gonna be all over Twitter. They're gonna be posting it. Hey, this person ran this. Hey, looked in this. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Definitely looking forward to it. Always fun times watching it.
The great Rochelle and others are tuned in on Facebook Live here on Pigskin and Piledrivers. Dave Castle's checking in as well over on Facebook. We appreciate it greatly here as a new program on the Buccateers podcast, all off season long. Pigskin and Piledrivers keeping you up with NFL, UFC, wrestling, and more. Joey, the Combine is in one of your favorite states, if not your favorite state, Indiana, Indianapolis. Good time there. Tradition continues. They've tried to pry it in years past. They said, not so fast. What say you on the weekend itself, the location? Are you a Combine guy? Do you spend much time looking into these metrics or watching these events?
Starting with the indie part, I do love that it's there. Like you said, they host many things. It's great. If I lived in the city, I would definitely go check it out, because I do find it boring as shit on TV. I don't really tune in too much of the. Now I'll see a bunch of it. Yeah, I just don't find it very entertaining. Now, Yeah, it's just facts. Don't find it entertaining. I like the Twitter clips sometimes, but it's the background noise on NFL Network. It's like watching paint dry. I just like to get the highlights from it and move on.
Wow.
Quite honest. I mean, honesty is the best policy. I love what comes from it with the draft, obviously, and stuff like that, but I don't think mock drafts are that cool because nobody knows what they're talking about. And then the Combine, I think it's a great event, but if it's on TV, I'm good. I'll if I could be in attendance, I would.
Before we get into more Combine chatter, Joey seems like a Combine interview guy. J-Lo seems like the Combine on the field guy, so both good stuff. Jordan Schultz says sources, in talking to teams in the QB market, there is a strong belief former Saints quarterback Derek Carr is very serious about unretiring and returning to the NFL in 2026. Carr's rights belong to the Saints, but teams with winning aspirations really want and have interest in the former four-time Pro Bowl quarterback. So not only is Derek Carr probably returning, but Joey, sounds like a playoff team or multiple playoff teams are like, we want Derek Carr to be our guy in the future.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the best, obviously wants to join a playoff team. To me, the best fit for all parties involved would, let's just say, let's say Mahomes misses 4 games. He goes to Kansas City and gets to play 4, and then I'll be his backup. Or I'm trying to think of another, Justin Herbert's injury. I just don't think it would make much sense. Now, unless my only caveat would be maybe if Aaron Rodgers retires and the Pittsburgh Steelers don't like a QB, they could go the Kirk Cousins or Derek Carr route. But I think for all parties involved, the best route for Derek Carr and a team would be a playoff team, yes, but not where he's starting all of the games, where he's predominantly the backup. I'm a Derek Carr fan, but if we want to be honest about it, he had an up and down career. So why now would I bring him in to be a starter? Now, he can compete if he goes to a bad team like the Jets, or he goes to, Titans, somewhere like that, even though they have Cam Ward, so that wouldn't be as real. But if he wants to start, it ain't going to be a playoff team, in my opinion.
And I will say, before we get J-Lo's thoughts, he had a really good, although short, his Saints career was pretty incredible when you're just looking at the surface and the numbers of things. His last year with the Saints, he played 10 games, 15 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. Not a whole lot of touchdowns, but that ratio is pretty damn good in just 10 games. You say he played 17 games that year. If he never got hurt, that would have equated to about 22 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 23 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That ain't terrible. And then his first year in New Orleans, he had 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, almost threw for 4,000 yards, and played all 17 games. As Joey said, a little bit of an up and down, but J-Lo, I'm a firm believer in, kind of like Carson Palmer revived himself in Arizona. I think this is comparable to that situation. I think this is a guy with football left ahead of him who was really banged up at one point, looked at the Saints and said, what the hell am I doing here in New Orleans? The fans don't like me. This organization has treated me terribly. The offensive line is years away from being competent. They're going to draft a rookie. They did, Tyler Shuck. What am I going to do in New Orleans? So I hear what Joey's saying. I do think he's been up and down. But to his token, J-Lo, I think this is a guy who actually took time, got healthy, and I think he could put a team over the hump. I really do think he can maybe go out there and put a team with quarterback concerns out there over the hump. I really do.
Oh, no, I couldn't agree more. I liked him a lot when he was available before Baker came to Tampa. I know some fans didn't. When healthy, keyword healthy, he can be, a really producer and help you win football games. I will say Minnesota will be interesting.
I was literally going to say Minnesota. You let McCarthy ride Pine until Carr struggles, and then you got the young guy to go to.
Well, here's another one is on Arizona. With Kyler Murray being out of the picture pretty much, they're going to need an experienced quarterback in there with the new offensive-minded head coach. So those are two teams I think would make a lot of sense for him to start. But when Joey mentioned, as a backup role, that's very good points as well. But to me, it seems like he wants to come back and play to start, not to be a backup. But then again, we'll never know what could happen. But to me, I feel like Minnesota, Arizona are two really good spots, or even Miami. Miami, getting rid of Tua. That's another one. Miami.
And to kind of caveat off that, J-Lo's Parlay Pete's watching us now on Facebook. And that's the biggest thing is the unknown, because he says he wants to go to a contender. Apparently contenders are interested, but does that mean more of what Joey's saying, he'd be a backup type role, or would he want to look at more of a clear-cut starting role? Time will tell. All we know is there is another quarterback on the market now. J-Lo, last thoughts on Carr?
No, I will say it would be good to see him back, especially taking a year off to rest, heal up, be 100%. So wherever he goes, he'll be out of our division, hopefully. Hopefully we won't ever have to play against him again, because last time we played against him, he picked us apart. I remember it very well. So, but shout out to him for coming back. I think, he deserves another shot.
And that's my point, though, on just to end with that. Now, contender. J-Lo mentioned some teams. You throw Miami and Arizona thrown right out the window if he's saying he wants to come back to a playoff team. Now, Tones, and you said it, Minnesota, I could buy that. I could get into that because they did finish the year strong, and they're usually a playoff team with O'Connell. But if he's saying he wants to go to a contender, I just eliminate 3/4 of the teams J-Lo mentioned. That's more of the reason I said. Now, if he's willing to go anywhere, yeah, he could start for a handful of teams. But if he's talking true contender, that's where I kind of just say Minnesota's good.
Is Atlanta maybe another team out there, kind of like in Minnesota? The thing is, the Saints probably wouldn't want to give him interdivision just in case that ends up.
Oh, he's going to be traded too?
Yep. So he's,
so it's good. I mean, yeah. Okay.
A team could probably get him for the cheap, at least in their aspects, right? Because they have Tyler Shuck and then Rattler as their backup. And if he unretires, instead of paying him all that money, they're going to definitely.
Is he making a lot of money?
Derek Carr, yeah, I think he was making around 30-40 million a year based on when he was playing. So,
yeah, but you never understood how no one's can afford that still. But that's another conversation.
Probably would have to shovel some of that back with retirement, dead cap hit, and some of that. But regardless, you never know if a Mariota goes away from Washington, given Jaden Daniels' injury last year. If a team like that would maybe inquire. Just a lot of possibilities out there. It's going to be crazy. Malik Willis is available. So, and remember the Malik Willis story at the Combine, which got a lot of buzz when he helped people out there at the Combine. A lot of good stories always to be had at the Combine. It is NFL Combine week, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow starts the action, as we went over the schedule earlier. If you missed it, go ahead, reverse course, and watch that. But not until we're done here on the Buccateers. We will be back this weekend, Saturday or Sunday. We're thinking Sunday, but we're not officially sure yet. We'll be back one of the mornings, Saturday morning or Sunday morning, with a live program here on the Buccateers podcast, getting back to our weekend show, talking all things sports. And then we will return Monday on either a dive into the 813 history show or a Man Cave Monday. So the programming's picking back up again as the off season picks back up again. And as always, what picks up again is rumors at the Combine. Joey, what say you with any Colts buzz, swirling and twirling rumors being thrown around right now in the horseshoe?
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a bit going on, because anytime you have to, re-sign your quarterback or find one, that will start there. And last time we talked about it, I was on the firm stance that Daniel Jones and Alec Pierce will be back. That has not changed after listening to Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen. The coaches won't give you a lot, of course, because this is more for the GMs. But from listening to Ballard, I do fully expect Daniel Jones probably this week. Me, Tones, Pops were talking. We're looking in that 3-year range around $100 million. And then Alec Pierce, franchise tag him if you can't find a deal. And then on the defense, sadly, we might lose a couple people. Some of the defensive players that we've had, we're trying to get faster, so we might lose a couple veterans there. But feeling good about it. Pierce and Jones are big fans of each other. They both love where they are right now and express interest in staying. So I think Colts will get both their guys back. And I'm pretty happy about that overall.
Yeah, we are having technical difficulties with our YouTube chat right now. So if you guys are trying to keep up with us over on YouTube in the chat, we do apologize. I'm trying to figure it out.
Did you see mine or no? Does it not even come up?
No, I'm trying to. That's why I'm trying to tell. I thought it was weird that I haven't even seen any. So of course, I don't know technology. What the hell's going on? But
What the hell's going on out there?
I know because I put up the NFL Combine rumors thing, and it said YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means they think it's spam. Try changing it in a bit. So I'll see what the hell's going on. Trying to dig in as we speak. J-Lo, what say you, my friend, on everything going on with the Combine, Bucs rumors going on, Mike Evans talk happening, Levante David, so much more.
Oh yeah, so much more. After watching Jason Light and Todd Bowles with their interviews yesterday, they seem pretty like bracing, but at the same time, wanting Mike Evans back, which, like I said, like you mentioned earlier in the show, we're kind of going through the same thing we did 2 years ago, not really having an idea what's going on. I will say, I think this time he probably will explore options, but I don't think he's gone just yet. I'm not ready to give up on that. But at the same time, though, you got to understand that we have to invest in the defense and get this defense right. Because if we go into the season with the way the defense has been, I don't see how we're going to win football games. People got to look at it that way. Instead of just saying, "Oh, don't let him walk." We all know Mike doesn't care about the money. It's not even about the money. He wants to win, but also he wants to be utilized as well. With another offensive coordinator, they're going to utilize him, but that's another conversation. But to me, that's been the biggest talk around the combine is Mike Evans. Levante David, he's up in the air. I'm feeling he's coming back. I was on the out of saying he's going to retire, but he just seems like he's hungry for another year. I don't think he wants to go out the way he did, missing the playoffs. But we'll have to wait and see on that, on my opinion. As far as trades go, I still don't think we're going to see a trade happening as far as our organization go, unless Jason wants to surprise us. But right now, I like how Todd Bowles mentioned that we need to get bigger on the front end in the trenches, which I'm hoping that's what they really do, so we can get up to the quarterback, shut down the run, get back to what we do best, trying to get up the field. So that's going to be really intriguing as the comment goes on. And as far as Mike Evans go, we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Joey, thoughts on Mike Evans? What's your honest opinion on what happens with Mike? Yeah, plus we're sorry. YouTube chat's acting up. I'm trying to figure it out, brothers. So we do apologize. Joey, I don't know. Could you see, or if anyone looks on the YouTube chat?
I did see oh yeah, you want me to look in the chat?
Are there comments appearing on there on my
No, only mine appears.
Yeah, that's what's going on with mine. I wonder if that's a YouTube problem or if it's our problem. You know how sometimes it's a YouTube problem too. So we'll see what's going on. Joey, what are your thoughts on Mike Evans?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say this bluntly, and Evans is a great player, but I love what J-Lo just said. There's two sides to this football. You have Godwin, yes, injury prone. You have Ibuka. We know what he can do. You have other guys who have stepped up into the role with a good quarterback. So to me, it's not about money on either side, really. It's going to be a short-term deal. As J-Lo said, it's not about the money for Mike. I don't think it's really about the money for Tampa. However, it's money being spent. And if you could use it on the defense, where if you can say, okay, I'm going to bring in Mike Evans, but I'm only going to get a low-end free agent at D-line, or I could let Mike Evans walk and give that $15-20 million to a Trey Hendrickson, to a other good defensive end, whoever it might be. I think that would be the way to go, because it also confuses me. People say Mike Evans wants to win. Every NFL year, the Bucs are in it. Just because you go to Buffalo, they've never even been to a Super Bowl. Just because you go to Baltimore, they never even been to a Super Bowl with this regime. So there's
Hold on, Joey, not cutting you off, but breaking news. Somebody hacked YouTube and it's banning English word comments. That is what's happening. See how mine popped up? Test tag. So this is what Twitter's saying. YouTube banning English comments has got to be one of the funniest things that I have seen happen. As a note, you can get around it by just adding random letters to the end of the word that's tweeted by Just Seem Jinxed. And then somebody said I posted 3 comments on YouTube live chat, but they keep disappearing. That was by Tammy. But finish your thoughts, Joey. That just blows my mind that fucking we're in 2026 and YouTube can't even host English comments now.
Yeah, who the hell knows? This world is crazy. Things are happening all over the place. But no, I'm just like, I think from a Bucs perspective, the money has to be spent on defense, like J-Lo said. And then I'm just confused on the winning part. To me, Evans would want to stay because there's no guarantee, unless the only place to me he can go and you can guarantee he's in a better situation would be Kansas City. Not one other team outside of that. Not Seattle, who just won it. Not New England, who had a easy schedule and came off a bad year. If he really wants to win, Evans, and he leaves, the only place that would make sense to me is Kansas City, because otherwise there is no guarantee. Ask any of them, and that's the way it goes, and that's the bottom line, because CM Joey said so.
Yeah, I like that analysis. Chiefs are always going to be a threat. They were interested last time Mikey was about to hit the market. Other team interested last time was Houston as well. He's from the Galveston area. That could be a top competitor. Plus says he doesn't think he's back. You drafted a Mecca for a reason. Jalen McMillan as well. Only $50 million in cash to work with, so have to be creative. And as much as I agree with Plus and know what he's saying, 2 things here. Mike Greenberg makes the impossible possible. So the Bucs cap, the Bucs numbers, the Bucs situation could easily change in the snap of a restructure, extension, other situations as well. Number 2, we have to remember, if Mike Evans leaves, that's a $13 million dead cap hit off the bat. So you really want Mike Evans to be a member of this team, because what you're going to pay him will not really be much to negate that dead cap hit for this season. So if you're a Mike Evans-less Bucs, you're going to get a $13 million dead cap.
Could you trade him?
I mean, he's a free agent, so you'd have to do a sign and trade, which you could do, but I doubt that. I still think it's Bucs, and you have his agent on WDAE. To me, that interview sounded like a sales pitch to the Bucs, saying, hey, he's serious. If you guys don't do this, this, and this, he's serious about leaving. And I do understand we put incentives into that locker, or not incentives. We put good players, good personas into that position. Emeka, McMillan, Tez Johnson, Godwin. He's getting paid handsomely. But what's a common theme with the Bucs when Mike Evans always goes out? They struggle. Offensively, they struggle. No matter who played the past couple of seasons, when Mike wasn't playing, that offense looked a hell of a lot different. And I know Emeka Egbuka, Gronk almost has me saying Emeka Egbigbu, but Emeka Egbuka is going to be better in year 2. That's just a natural evolution of things. But Godwin, and I love Godwin, he'll probably never be the Godwin. He's going to be very good again. Very good. But he'll probably never be prime Chris Godwin. I hope I'm wrong. And Jalen McMillan's a very nice piece as well, but these are all guys who can't stay on the field either. When's the last time Godwin's played a full season? McMillan hasn't played a full season in either of his first 2 seasons. And Egbuka, as much as he could stay on the field, he was only a rookie last year, so we truly don't know how consistent his health could be.
And to me, that cracks me up, Tones, because the one false narrative that people have on him, they say him and Godwin are injury prone. Godwin's injury prone. Mike Evans, his last 5 seasons, has played 15 games or more in all of them and has gotten over 1,000 yards. So I don't want to hear about people saying, well, a best ability is availability. Yes, and he plays at 32 years old still, and it's going to be a 1 or 2 year deal. So nobody should bring up injuries because he's not as injury prone as people say to be.
And I couldn't agree more. And you put Jalen McMillan's games played This isn't one season, folks. If you combine Jalen McMillan's first 2 seasons in the National Football League, and I love McMillan. I think he's going to be a stud. I think he has a lot of good years in front of him. I think he's going to be a big Bucs wide receiver. But, folks, last year he had 12 receptions in 4 games played.
Didn't even Ibuka was injured, right?
Yeah, he missed a game or 2. And then McMillan played 13 games year 1. So you're saying McMillan has played 1 full season in the 2 seasons he's played. Now let's go to Chris Godwin. You look at Chris Godwin's games played total of the past handful of seasons. Godwin played 9 last year and 7 the year before. So another guy who is combined total of pretty much 1 season in 2 years. So now that's McMillan, who has 1 season total worth of games the past 2 seasons. Godwin, 1 season worth of games the past 2 seasons. Let's look up Ibuka, right? Rookie should be fresh, not miss time. Let's see if he did or not. Yeah, he did have a hell of a year, I will say, although some drops, J-Lo. But I want to get your thoughts. He did play 17 games, but I think he left a couple games hurt at one point. And then you have Tez Johnson, who missed a couple games last year as well with an injury and was inactive a couple games last year. So, J-Lo, this is a wide receiver room outside of Ibuka last year. It all missed time, but Evans missed the least amount of time out of all the other wide receivers.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, we do have an injury-prone receiving room, unfortunately. That's why when people try to compare Mike's injury-prones, I just find that, you know, okay, well, look at the other receiving room, like you just broke it down. I mean, to me, you can never have enough receivers in the receiver room. And I just feel that Godwin hopefully will get somewhat of a form we had a couple of years ago of him before he got hurt. Like you mentioned earlier, hopefully you're wrong, and hopefully you are, because we're paying the man $20-something million. He needs to make plays, especially if Mike does walk out the door. He's the next man up. So, but to me, I feel that, you know, with Ibuka, he was shaking up a few times during some games to where he kind of like slowed down a little bit for the most part, especially toward the end of the drops, like we mentioned. So to me, you know, losing Mike would definitely cause a lot of damage to where the offense is going to have to readjust and get it going again, because like you mentioned, without Mike, they did struggle. You know, I mean, they did struggle without Mike, and that to me would be that'd be huge if he does come back, because I feel like Zach Robinson would utilize him more.
And again, J-Lo, I think he's using his agent on the radio as bargaining. Yeah. I think he's using this as bargaining tactics. Another legend who once said they'll hit the market, Levante David, went to find out how much he'll be paid on the market, went back to the Bucs. They matched him. Quick thoughts on Levante David, J-Lo, and his future, if he has one in the NFL. It's definitely going to be with Tampa, but does he come back?
I got a gut feeling after hearing him, one of his recent interviews a couple weeks ago. He seemed like he was still hungry to play for another year, and I don't think he's going to cost much to bring back, but I still think they need to add a couple of linebackers to help him, because he's not going to be, to me, an every down linebacker. But I think he has a hunger to come back and play for Bulls, because him and Bulls are really close. So I got a gut feeling he's coming back at a reasonable price too. He ain't going to charge much.
Little fun here, Joey, on your last thought. Out of these 4 guys, rank him in order. For the Colts, we're going to use Trey Hendrickson as a potential option, and we're going to use the Bengals edge, the other Bengals edge, Joseph Osai, as they're both Lou and Aromo familiar. Both of their starting edges are set to hit the market. So Trey Hendrickson and Joseph Osai, 2 of the top edges to hit the market. Khalil Mack and Matt Crosby for the Bucs, we're going to use. Serious thoughts on one of these 4 individuals ending up with our teams to really help our pass rush out. Once again, Joseph Osai or Trey Hendrickson for the Colts, and for the Bucs, that would be Khalil Mack or Max Crosby. Because I like the potential on his side. He's only started 12 career games in 4 years with the Bengals, but he has 14.5 career sacks. What he reminds me of is Shaq Barrett when he was with the Broncos, he had a lot of fluff in front of him where he couldn't get out. I would leave that as a sleeper pick for Colts, as he's familiar with Lieutenant Romo as well.
I would agree. It is a great backup plan, and he's younger than Trey Hendrickson. Unfortunately for the Colts, we've tried that internally and externally with that position. We've tried to, outside of Laiatu Latu, we've had a bunch of mediocrity rushing the QB. And yes, he could grow into his own very well. He's only 25 years old. I do love the upside there. But I'm kind of, with this management group, especially with Ballard in year 10, it's shit or get off the pot now. He can't wait until year 2 for Asai to be, 12, 13 sack guy. So to me, it has to be Hendrickson for the Colts. Now, will they make it work? We shall see. But they were big on Danielle Hunter in Houston a couple years back, and then he got out-edged by the Colts on a couple million guaranteed dollars. So I look for us to go all in on Trey. And then in terms of the Bucs, I would love Max Crosby to be in Tampa, and I know Jason Light pulls big triggers. Obviously, he got Tom Brady. He's made a bunch of good moves, but it just scares me how much. Again, now, I would do it in a heartbeat. My team did it for Sauce Gardner. I would do it for Max Crosby. So if Jason Light feels that, he's got a little bit of pressure, Todd Bowles definitely has a ton of pressure. I don't mind pulling the trigger for Max Crosby and doing the 2 picks. Now, here's that being said, here's the caveat. The Bucs could, I'll bring up Asai again. What if the Bucs got, Khalil Mack and Joseph Asai? Like I'm saying, you don't have to give up capital. You get a veteran on a 1-year deal, probably $10 to $12 million. And then you get a Joseph Asai probably on a 3-year deal that's like 30, 40 million there. And you got two pass rushers now instead of 1. So I think from the Bucs, and again, scheme and everything, I don't know that perfectly what's going to line up with Tampa Bay this season, but I almost like the path of the Bucs getting a veteran like Mack and then signing an Asai.
And I think they could do that, but instead of signing 2, I think they would draft 1 and
you got a first-round pick.
Just because you still need other depth pieces, but I do agree they do add multiple edge rushers this year, and you do get David Walker back as well in year number 2, who missed all of last season. J-Lo, close out some Bucs talk before we move on to AEW and WWE chatter on the Pigskin and Piledrivers, episode 3.
No, I mean, I will go back to what you were talking about. Khalil Mack still got some energy in the tank. I wouldn't knock him, and he wouldn't cost much. Wouldn't give him no assets. Joseph Asai wouldn't be a. It'll be a low key, like you said, maybe like a Shaq Barrett type. Go in there, see what he can do being a starter. It'll be interesting to see, but you got to draft. I do think we'll draft 1, either first or second round. I just think in free agency, you go get an edge, 1 linebacker, maybe 2, depending on the pricing. And then you go draft them. You want to stock up the linebacker edge room, even in the DB room as well, because Benjamin Morrison's the big question mark. We don't know if he's going to be at 100% all season. Unfortunately, he was injured most of last year, so that's another big intriguing thing I want to throw out there as well. But to me, trade for Max Crosby will be phenomenal. But I'm just trying to think more of the back road here. I don't see like doing it. I just don't see him doing it.
Could be assets. Could, in terms of players or draft picks or both, it would be interesting to see the package. There's a lot of projected packages out there, but not projected is the Buccateers podcast, where as real as they come. You are watching live right now. Please hit that like button, subscribe button, turn the notification bell on. If you have missed it, the YouTube server is hacked right now. I kid you not. Spell a word wrong and it will post. Spell a word right and it won't. Apparently, the English language is banned on YouTube comments. So hop on over to our Facebook to chime in, or just comment the wrong word on YouTube, or text in, and we'll happy to address your comments one way or another. We appreciate likes, subscribe, turn that notification bell on, super chats, and memberships. We do offer memberships right now. Our coasters are in. Our members, Ed Rabasa, and our other couple members will be getting those coasters as part of being honorary Buccateers members. Buccateers Brigade. J-Lo's holding one up there, but the lighting isn't the best, so you couldn't really see it, but it's all good. You will know what it says. It says Buccateers Podcast established 2020, but the point is they're out. J-Lo held one up. And speaking of out, Joey, the AEW lineup is out for tonight live. Remember, Wednesdays It is AEW Dynamite. You have Orange Cassidy versus Gabe Kidd. You have Mark Davis versus Brody King. You have AEW Continental Champ Jon Moxley versus LC Lone. You have AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship match tonight. The Babes of Wrath versus Mega Bad. Then you have MJF and Hangman Adam Page decide the stipulation for AEW Revolution, which is March 15th, their next pay-per-view. And then you got FTR and The Demand in a Miles High Madness anything goes match against Jungle Jack Perry, the Young Bucks, and the Rascals. So, Joey, this one seems like it could be crazy tonight, 8 Eastern, 7 Central on TBS and HBO Max, live from the Mission Ballroom in Denver, Colorado. Sounds like another little fun venue on our hands for tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked about it a little bit last week, but if you're just looking for pure fun wrestling, tune in tonight. You could throw the dog shit storylines out the window. They have amazing in-ring wrestling, and they do that. I mean, I think, like you said, you mentioned a few of them. There's like 8 matches on this card, and not everyone's going to know who these people are, but they're going to fly around, and you have the chance to learn them every Wednesday night, and then again on Saturdays with Collision and then pay-per-view. So it's always going to be a fun time if you turn on AEW, if you just like to watch pure in-ring wrestling. So that will be a good one. I'll probably have it on one of the TVs for sure, while I got some hockey and NBA on as well. So looking forward to seeing what MJF and Adam Hangman finally decide on for the match stipulation. Texas Death Match has been brought up. We'll see it finalized tonight.
Yeah, going to be interesting once again. If you don't normally turn into AEW, you could find it on TBS or HBO Max on Wednesdays. Tonight, J-Lo, are you going to go any tuning in? I know
you might have tuned out on us, my brother.
Yeah, it looks like lights off, no one's home. We'll see what the great J-Lo is up to. Oh, there he is.
Hey!
It's like Danhausen out of the box comes
Take
Saturday.
the sock off.
J-Lo out of the box like Danhausen. J-Lo, what say you? Are you going to watch any AEW tonight? I know you're trying to get into it a little bit more.
Well, I caught the main event last week with Strickland and I guess Kenny Omega. That was a good main event match. I enjoyed it very much. And then I saw the standoff with Paige and MJF. I know I'm getting the names all mixed up. Anyway, I'm getting there. I'm working on it.
You got him. You're doing better. You're better than Cleve already.
But for the most part, I mean, I enjoyed it, so I'll try to watch it again tonight. But I got Gator basketball, Lightning hockey, so I'll try to manage everything all together at once. So definitely, I'm getting there.
By the way, as I mentioned, Cleve, remember our week-to-week wrestling podcast flagship show, Cleve and Me, is coming out shortly with their Elimination Chamber show. That'll be available on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you get podcasts, Deezer, Stitcher, Google Play as well. So just remember, Cleve and Me could be found weekly, sometimes multiple times a week, talking all things wrestling. We spruce it up a little bit, throw some other sports in there. But Joey, what say you preview Cleve and Me, what we have in store on the next release and when that one will be available for the public?
Yeah, thank you as always. It'll be coming out tonight at Cleve and Me on Twitter. Cleve and Me, like you said, you could find Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you go for that. And we'll preview and predict the chamber. What will be in the mystery box at the Elimination Chamber on Saturday? Who will take home the gold in the championship matches with CM Punk and Becky Lynch? So there's so much going on. You could hear all of our shit there. We'll do a little bit of the wrestling here with the WWE, but if you want full coverage of wrestling, and then Cleve's phone goes off a few times, a couple cigarettes, background noise, feel free to tune into us and get after it. But it's a fun show, and we talk about Raw, SmackDown, AEW, TNA Impact, New Japan, and so much more. So yeah, that'll be coming out tonight for this weekend's show, and talk about it all.
Yeah, we go deep dives into Cleve and Me, Cleve and Joe primarily. I join when I can as well. The three of us always bring in the noise. We get special guests, fun coverage over there as well. Before we resume wrestling talk, more quarterback breaking news on the forefront, fellas. Kyler Murray would like to be cut from the Arizona Cardinals, reports Henry McKenna. So there we go. Another veteran quarterback likely to hit the market. Real quick, Joey, who'd you rather trade for? No explanations really needed, but Kyler or Carr if you had to choose.
Oh, both as free agents, you said?
Just pretend you got to give a 7th round pick for either. We'll put it like that. A 7th round pick gets you either, or Tua. Throw in Tua.
Ooh. I don't know why I've been stuck on Kyler Murray. Maybe it's just because I haven't seen enough of the times in Arizona to realize it just may not work or what, but I've been there, done that. And I'm not talking about for my Colts team. We have our QB, but I've been there and done that with the veterans. So I'm good on Carr. Tua's one hit away from not playing football again. So I'm probably going to be in the minority, but I would take Kyler Murray.
J-Lo, Tua, Kyler, Carr. A 7th round pick gets you any of those gentlemen. Who do you want to lead your football team in 2026, 2027?
Definitely not taking Tua. I can't trust him. I'm gonna go with Derek Carr. I just feel Carr, if he stays healthy, I think he's more consistent. I think he'll give you the best chance to win. No respect to Kyler Murray, but Murray's already shown his true colors to me. I'm just not sold on him, and I pay a lot of money to him. That's just me. But Derek Carr.
And I'll play devil's advocate just as a third caveat. I'll say Tua because he led the NFL in passing just a few short years ago. Maybe with the right system, right offense, new atmosphere, he rebounds and he gets back into the playoffs. His biggest thing is availability. Will he be available for a lot of the year? So three good options, though.
Nobody can really come at any of those moves we just mentioned because there's all pros and cons to all three.
And they should all be fairly cheap, right? Because we all know they're going to be either cut or traded, right? I mean, none of those guys will probably stay where they are. And then on top of that, fellas, you got Kirk Cousins, you got Malik Willis. Rodgers is technically a free agent. So it's a little spicy out there for the QB market. We'll make sure to keep an eye on that. Speaking of keeping an eye on that, we know a lot of wrestling fans out there may start sniffing the computer screen when they see Mercedes Moné memorabilia released, as she is going to release some of her ring worn stuff, autograph stuff, and so much more. Two things, Joey. This is very smart. Look at my background. I got memorabilia all over the place. I got some wrestling stuff just not displayed yet as well. But a very big hobby nowadays is game used, event used stuff. I got some from WWE auctions. Can't wait to display it when I do move out. But nonetheless, why not make a little more money if you're Mercedes Moné, Joey? You could probably wear something new every week. Like right now on WWE auction, you see John Cena autographed turnbuckles for $4,500 listed. It's one of those things where if you could, why not? You know, someone out there, especially wrestling fans, might indulge into a pretty penny.
Yeah, there's a lot of weirdos. I just saw, people are trying to get by Rey Mysterio, these like 50-year-old guys who look like they've ate out of the lunch pail bologna sandwich for weeks. It just with all their cards trying to get them autographed. So I could see. I know. It's like, come on now. But hey, I wouldn't, me, I'm not in that business. I wouldn't buy any of it just because it's very expensive. But I don't blame anybody at all. If you can sell something and somebody is going to buy it, it is a good business move. If Sydney Sweeney was able to sell her quote unquote bathwater to all these guys out there who bought it, Mercedes Moné can make a ton of money on her gear, and good for her. If people are going to buy it, you can't blame them for doing it. Just like OnlyFans. If people are going to take feet pics, if people are going to take all these pictures and make money, I'm never going to blame them. That's a business. That's income in their pocket, and good by them.
We know Rex Ryan will be subbing to some feet pics, and we know Glenn. We know Glenn from the Royal Caribbean cruise almost 2 decades ago is definitely drinking some people.
Holy shit! I forgot about that guy. Holy cow!
I remember we had dinner with Glenn and Amy. We had dinner with Glenn and Amy every night, and Glenn made a comment about some lady that he'd drink her bath water. And I was just like, this guy is the man. J-Lo, speaking of drinking bath water, I'm just kidding. But Mercedes Moné, thoughts on the memorabilia, Sasha Banks. Smart by her, as Joey said, why not if you could sell it?
No, agreed. I mean, she's making some extra, coins, let her do it. I mean, I don't judge on that. She could be doing a lot worse, other things making money, but no, she's making a smart decision. Sell some memorabilia, make some money. I don't knock it at all.
Joey, last but not least, AEW topic. MJF files a trademark on the Big Hebrew nickname. Do you think this is going to be for himself, or do you think maybe if Wardlow returns, it could be for a guy like him? But thoughts on that? You never know. Sometimes these trademarks lead to nothing as well. Wrestling companies think they have an idea for a little bit, then it falls through. But thoughts on MJF trademarking the Big Hebrew?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going to come out of it, but let me say MJF does what he wants to do, and he should be able to because he's the best thing AEW has going by far. If they were to lose him, you lose a good chunk of people, kind of like when Cody left. That's how big of a figure he is in this business. So whatever he wants to trademark, whatever he wants to do, I think it will work out great. He's a movie star now. He's also a great wrestler, a great guy on the mic. How can you not like MJF? So whatever he wants to do, I'm giving him the thumbs up.
And he's still great with fans and stays within character. Like, I've seen a little kid ask for his autograph the other day. He signed it gladly. And then the little kid goes, "Who's your favorite finisher besides yours?" And MJF goes, "Why the hell would I have another favorite finisher?" And just walked away. So you could tell he still cares, or else he wouldn't have signed the autograph, right? But he likes to stay in character. I can't blame him for that. He went off on me once. I was like, that was awesome. But J-Lo, take us home. Big Hebrew, thoughts on that with MJF?
I mean, Joey pretty much put it all out there. I mean,
the nickname for you, are you going to return and be his partner?
He'll probably diss me and probably backstab me and throw me out to the wolves. I'm good. I see the guy on social media. I see the way he acts, stays in character. So to me, yeah, I'm good. I'll stay out of that conversation.
I don't blame you at all. Speaking of blame, hard to blame you if you don't get to the Elimination Chamber this weekend because it's in Chicago. So if you live far, it's hard to get to. But if you live close, there's still approximately 1,400-ish tickets available. There's about 17,500 available total. About 16,000 is sold. Joey and I are a part of that 16,000. Joey, we have had a busy wrestling week leading up to it so far. Raw, NXT in the rearview mirror. What are your thoughts on the fallout from both of those shows, Raw and NXT, if you have any, leading up to the Elimination Chamber?
My big thought is Brock Lesnar Open Challenge is a great idea for WrestleMania. He has 6 appearances on the road to WrestleMania on Monday Night Raw on Netflix. And what I think might happen is a bunch of guys are going to try to fight him every week. He's going to beat the living shit out of him. And then at the WrestleMania event for his Open Challenge, we'll probably get Obafemi coming out in big guy versus big guy. He was known in the Rumble. I know you're not his biggest fan, but he's known in the Rumble, and he was thrown out by Brock Lesnar. So, again, I think Brock Lesnar is going to beat the crap out of a bunch of little guys these next 6 weeks, and then Open Challenge. I'll be excited for, and I expect it to be Obafemi, where you get beast versus beast.
J-Lo, Raw, NXT, obviously. And again, for this show, because we probably do, if you're just a football or just a UFC guy and don't follow along with wrestling, these weeks leading up to the pay-per-views always kind of hype the shows a little bit, especially the big ones like an Elimination Chamber leading up to WrestleMania. J-Lo, Raw, NXT, thoughts on either of those shows the past handful of days leading up to the Elimination Chamber?
No, it's definitely heating up. I like some of the storylines they're putting together. Like Joey mentioned, Brock Lesnar's Open Challenge. It'll be interesting to see if it's really going to be Obafemi, which wouldn't surprise me. Here's one I want to throw out there is Sami Zayn. I don't know why. For some reason, I feel like like when they talk about fantasy story and all that, when it comes to Elimination Chamber, I'm really looking to see how that goes, what kind of role he'll play in that, depending how that goes. But for me, I feel Sami Zayn might be a name to look out for as an opponent for Drew McIntyre instead of Cody Rhodes or Randy, or one of these bigger names. That's one that we'll throw out there as they're building up the storylines to Raw and stuff like that. For me, I don't know. I mean, I just got a strong feeling Sami Zayn is going to be a big part of Mania's plans. I don't know why.
And Tones, a little breaking news here from wrestling. British Bulldog, you want to talk about memorabilia? Somebody stole his Hall of Fame WWE ring and broke into his.
Oh boy!
Ring. So I don't know how much money those things are worth, if at all. But for those old heads who remember British Bulldog, he is now out of his WWE Hall of Fame ring.
And I hope that's found and returned to him. It's a serious thing. Hardy Nickerson, former Bucs legendary linebacker, just had his house broken into and got a bunch of his memorabilia stolen. I run a Buccaneers game use page. I put out there, if you see something, say something. This is serious stuff. I mean, these are valuables and mementos to these guys. And jackasses go in there because they know they're valuable, and you take it, you steal it. Whoever did it to British, whoever did it to Hardy, I'm not going to say what I hope happens to you live on podcast, but be the better fucking person. And even if you gave some of it away, give the rest of their belongings back. It's never too late. Nobody has to know. You could leave it on their porch. Nobody would figure out who it is, but please, for the betterment of humanity, don't be that prick that steals fucking memorabilia from these people, because that's their livelihood. They spend so much time on the field building their careers, built in the ring, on the court, whatever the hell it might be. God, that just makes me upset and bothered. J-Lo, thoughts on that?
Just sickening. People will go and do that, and just ruin a person's day, especially for legends like Hardy Nickerson, British Bulldog. I mean, I just feel that, whoever's doing it, man, cut it out. Like you mentioned, do the right thing, return it, no one has to know, and be the better person. And stop robbing, legacy like that, from these between wrestler, pro football players. Just not right.
Terrible stuff. Not terrible will be Smackdown, as it's the go-home show before the Chamber. Joey, any good things lie ahead on Smackdown? And we also got Impact on Thursdays now. That's from 9 to 11 on AMC. Just throwing that in so we don't forget. Joey and I actually did watch a little bit of Impact last week, I believe. What's so funny? Gee, oh boy.
You want me to throw an advertisement? Get O'Keefe's Healthy Feet Cream. Buy it now on Amazon.
We're not getting paid by these. Jesus. You just gave free advertisement to foot cream out of all the damn things.
I'm sorry. Let me get.
I hope you're using that on your feet. My Lord.
Sorry.
I guess SmackDown makes you think of cream. That's a little scary to think about.
That's why I watch it on Saturday, Wacky Saturdays. Anyways, getting back to it. Somebody on SmackDown, Randy Orton, he did call out former Buccaneer Tom Brady. Tom Brady was on Logan Paul's podcast and said wrestling is cute and all. Randy Orton said on ESPN this week he would deliver him an RKO. My question is this, back to you guys. Tom Brady is working for the Vegas Raiders. It is in Vegas. I do wonder if we get a Tom Brady sighting at WrestleMania.
It would be with Gronk, I would have to imagine, right? Is Gronk's a big
Probably
wrestling
so.
guy as well. He's at a title. I think they could incorporate them in a fun segment. I think he'll be there. I don't know if he'll
get into any shenanigans.
I think they'll at least call him out. I think he'll earn screen time, Is it more screen time than Taylor Swift on a Sunday night game? I'm not sure, but I would say he gets some airtime for sure. J-Lo, what say you?
Of course, it's Tom Brady. He's the GOAT.
To you, he's Thomas Edward Patrick Brady, sir.
Oh, excuse me. Okay.
Whoa.
It would be pretty funny if somehow he was involved some way, and like Randy Orton mentioned during that interview that he would just love to RKO him. That would be pretty intriguing. I mean, Tom Brady is actually in pretty good shape for his age at 48 years old, by the way. So I wouldn't
Look
mind
at the
seeing
woman who
that.
love him. Look at the woman who get after him. He's doing damn good.
Oh, putting in work, man. Even Grant, he was scared to take his shirt off because Tom Brady was more ripped than him. So hey, you never know. It's WrestleMania season.
Yeah, speaking of WrestleMania season, one thing with WrestleMania, WrestleCon is always a huge deal. You have a good bit of WrestleCon available this week. I know it's not quite called that, but Joey, a good bit of meet and greets lined up on our hands with the chamber. A couple of free ones for you people out there hoping for the best. Now remember, these free ones, as great as they are, and they are tremendous, there's no guarantee you ever get to meet the person, right? So line up plenty ahead of time if you plan on going to these free ones. The first one of the freebies, Joey, is Friday, February 27th from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock Central Time. Since it's in Chicago, we're going on Central Time. At the Cricket Wireless dealer located at 2650 North Narragansett Avenue in Chicago. On-site registrations required, but it's first come, first serve. So that's one of the free meet and greets this weekend, which is pretty cool with Penta. Then you have Raquel Rodriguez meet and greet, Joey, which is at the Elimination Chamber store on Sunday, which is a free one as well. And if you are, it's confusing, but the store is in a different spot than the photo op spot. The store is at the Carter in Chicago, which is close to the UC, and then the photo op spot, we'll get that address as well. But me and Joey are going to the paid for photo ops. Joey, you're doing Chelsea Green. I'm doing Lash Legend. Those are on Saturday. Plenty of superstars available. Joey, I've seen they must have added more tickets to Obafemi. He was previously sold out. Now he's available. Same with Sal Ruka and Penta. They were all sold out at one point. So either people exchange for new meet and greets. But bottom line, Joey, between free meet and greets or paid for meet and greets, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're going to have a lot of opportunities in the land of Chicago to be doing just that.
Might have to get my cream back out for this. You're getting me really going here with all this talk. So if it was all free, I would definitely take it upon to do and get with more stars, pictures, photo ops. Like you said, I'm doing Chelsea Green. But I would.
You're gonna buy her little replica hat to wear, aren't you?
It won't fit this big ass head, I'll tell you that right now. But I would definitely be intrigued by Soruka, Obafemi are up and coming stars, so that makes sense. Penta, more spots. The free ones, I mean, it's not like they're putting the minor leaguers out there for this stuff. They're putting big names in free spots too on different days, obviously. But this is one of the better things you can get. WWE is very expensive now. So if you're looking to do something that's a little bit more cost effective, find these free pictures, maybe do a little bit less expensive one and get on it because it's an experience. You just don't have to go in the pay-per-view to experience it. Tones went to the Superstore in Atlanta, Georgia when they had Bad Blood with McIntyre and Punk. I've been to Superstore for the Royal Rumble in Indianapolis, so on and so forth. Don't always have to go to the event. They do a great job around it. A bunch of other shows too, especially WrestleMania season. So get on what you can. I'm a big fan of the meet and greets. Tones got me into those, and I don't photo op them as well. I did just get a picture frame in to get my Cody Rhodes in there, Mr. Tones, but I need to do a better job of displaying these. So once I get to that point, I'll be in a really good spot.
Yeah, when I seen Thumbtacks, there were Tony Dungy autograph pick one.
Hey, oh, where did it go?
Buy a picture frame. Good God. You know, remind me like Tony Dungy autograph pick. Now it's framed, but sheesh, you are getting better.
I got Moncrief there. I got T.Y. Hill in.
Getting better. At least the Moncrief came framed, so that'd be hard to.
True.
But you never know. Speaking of never know, J-Lo, you never know when the freebies come up once again. Punta at Cricket in Chicago, 1 to 3 Friday, and Sunday, Raquel Rodriguez at 11 a.m. at the Superstore. Those locations of the Superstore, it's at the Carter, Chicago, and 1948 West Fulton Street. That's where the Superstore is. On the on-site meet and greet location is at the Morgan MFG building on 401 North Morgan Street in Chicago. Superstore hours, real quick. Thursday, it's open 1 to 7. Friday, 10 to 9. Saturday, 10 to midnight. And Sunday, 10 to 2. J-Lo, last thoughts in the chamber, meet and greets, Superstore, all that stuff.
Well, I was going to say the meet and greets are a lot of fun, especially the free one. That's pretty cool that they got some of the stars in there. I remember going to Mania in Orlando, and I went to a bunch of meet and greets. I met Kevin Owens at a Walgreens. Waited an hour and a half. It was so worth waiting for. The guy was super cool and chill. I remember going to a Winn-Dixie to go meet Bit Show. That was like 30 minutes away from where I was staying at in Orlando. That was pretty cool. So I will say, you got to check those out. Get the freebies, save your money. Because let me tell you, WWE is really expensive. I remember when Bayley was first coming up, she was charging $30 just for a stupid hug. Yeah, that was ridiculous. I'm not as much as I like Bayley. I'm
$30 for a
hug tight.
Hug. I'm not doing it.
You know, a lot of people would in the universe
for free and not pay $30 anyway. But no, the meet and greets are fun. Like I said, y'all guys are gonna have a fun time. Those meet and greets, just make the best of it, enjoy it.
Joey and I got to do a fun one a couple weeks back with Jacqueline, with The Godfather as well. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully more of those come back. Poor event got scratched. Just terrible stuff. The Boogeyman, Matt Riddle, and A-Rye. And it sounds like they had a dispute. We'll hope it gets fixed, because I did enjoy that one, Joey, and hope to do that type of event again in the future. We got the great Ryan O'Media joining us on Facebook, The Godfather, James Rubright, David Ferrara, Tampa's own realtor. As we get into the last but not least UFC, Sean Strickland gets back in the win column, Joey, last fight night this past Saturday. Thoughts on his win over Hernandez as he prevailed there in a fun fight?
Yeah, watched that match live, was very impressed. He doesn't use his legs very often, even though he has tree trunks for legs, but he's not big on his legs. He's an upper body guy, and he got plenty of good shots in on Hernandez. It was a mutual respect between each other, not two guys who overly hate. And he just kicked ass, man. He finally got the knockout after a while. And to me and J-Lo talked about last time, he needed a win. Even though Duplessis has been his only kryptonite, he needed to get back on top of things. And now maybe if he wins one more, he can get back into the championship picture. And instead of just running his mouth, he can run with victories now too. Was impressed with that on Saturday night.
J-Lo, once again, the card proved really well. Dana White's been doing a tremendous job in their transition to Paramount Plus. You had a lot of the big names and old timers out on the card, and they all did great. Michael Pereira got a W over Zach Reese. You had Spivak defeat Delija. You had Costa beat Ige. Jeff Neal was the one OG who couldn't scrape up a win, but then you had Strickland beat Hernandez. J-Lo, thoughts if you got to watch any of the card? What say you?
Oh yeah, I mean Strickland, he did what Joe and I also thought he would pull out the win. Definitely like his normal self, getting back to form, knocking people out, doing what he does. So good for him. He needed the win badly. Unfortunately, I catch some of the other cards because I was coming back from Disney at nighttime. So, but luckily, like I said, the main event was just where it needed to be. Shout out to Dana White. He's done a great job, like you mentioned, just putting together all these big, fight cards each week. I mean, he's out to a fire start right now on Paramount Plus. So shout out to UFC as well. Just putting together these great events. Even if it's fight night, there's still names from the past. So I like it a lot.
A fun one this week, once again, on Paramount Plus this Saturday, February 28th, 7 o'clock p.m. Central, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern is the main card, and the prelims start well before that, 4 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Eastern on Paramount Plus. UFC Mexico is going to be a lot of fun for people. The prelim card looks as followed. Once again, 5 Eastern, you got Damian Pinas against Wes Schultz. You got Francis Marshall against Eric Silva. You got Regina Terran against Ernesta Caracate. You got Douglas Silva de Andrade versus Javier Reyes. You got Christian Quinones versus Chris Mutahino. Aileen Perez versus Macy Chiasson. You have Ryan Gandra versus Jose Daniel Medina. And then the regular card, 8 Eastern, 7 Central for UFC Mexico. Santiago Luna versus Angel Pacheco. Emmanuel Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas. Edgar Chiriz versus Felipe Bunez. Daniel Zeluber versus King Green. Cheeto Marlon Vera versus David Martinez in what should be a really fun one. And Brandon Moreno versus Lanair Kavanaugh. Joey, even with all the shenanigans going on south of the border right now with all the fires and whatnot, they're still going on with this, and it should be a fun one for UFC Mexico.
Yeah, and congratulations on trying to pronounce all those names. Not easy, and good luck to Mexico. They have a lot.
Probably did terrible.
They already got a pre-show going on in the country itself before this big pay-per-view. And yeah, I'm moving on to next week because next week we got Holloway and Oliveira. So I won't be able to tune in this week since we'll be at the chamber. Maybe we'll catch a tail end, but enjoy it, Mexico. Hopefully everybody stays safe, and I'll be on to March 7th. I'm all amped up.
But I think you'll be with Scoot at the Bucs game for that one. So.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to see what happens there.
Keep fighting, keep battling. You'll be able to watch it on your phone. I'm sure that'll go well. No,
but
J-Lo, thoughts on UFC Mexico? And then, yes, we do have Holloway Oliveira 2, UFC 326 live from Vegas next week as well. But first thoughts on Moreno Kavanaugh, UFC Mexico.
I gotta say the Moreno Kavanaugh fight, that's gonna be really interesting because Kavanaugh's only got one loss. And Moreno, he's experienced 2-time champion in his weight class. Him being home in Mexico, getting the fans behind him will be really interesting. So I'll definitely be tuning into that late fight. And they got some other ones. King Green, I like him too. Vet, we'll see what he does as well in his fight. But it'll be a good little, nice little pre-show fight until next week. Oliveira 2 versus Matt Holloway. Oliveira is just one of those guys. He'll be getting his ass beat, and he comes out of nowhere and just fights back and wins the fight by somehow. So that we could talk about on the next show. But this weekend, tune in, for all those fighters, especially Brandon Moreno. I'm a fan of his as well, so looking forward to it.
We'll either be previewing it live Saturday morning or recapping it Sunday morning. That's UFC Elimination Chamber. So much more here on the Buccateers podcast. It's been fun. It's been real. Pigskin and Piledrivers. Yeah, again, it's time for our finishers for the program. Joey, finisher for you, my friend.
My finishers, I'm just looking forward to being at the United Center. They don't have a ton of WWE pay-per-view PLEs there anymore. It's going to be exciting in Chicago, home of CM Punk. I have my tank on right now. I'm ready for war, ready to see my guy Cody Rhodes in the chamber alongside great names like Randy Orton and so much more. So my finisher will be seeing some finishers this Saturday. Tune in on ESPN Unlimited or your illegal streaming ways, save some cash. But I'm all bricked up for the weekend. I'm ready for it, and we're going to be there Saturday live.
Yeah, AJ Lee and CM Punk should be heavily featured for the Elimination Chamber. Both should have merch. Both should have a lot of stuff going for them.
Hopefully enough by the time we get there.
Yeah, speaking of hopefully enough, hopefully YouTube figures out their comments. I remember the one show, just terrible stuff. But J-Lo, what's your finisher, brother, as we head into the chamber of elimination?
Yes, sir. I got my Gator basketball on right now, playing Texas in a close one. We got Lightning hockey back. Hockey's back. Your boy stay hot with Gators. And by the way, shout out to John Cooper and his family. My condolences. His father passed away. And very unfortunate, so my prayers go out to him and his family for that part. Looking forward to, seeing what the team does, playing, for him while he's not there. That'd be fun to watch. Tune in at 7:30 on that one. But until the next time, go Gators, go Bolts. We got baseball coming up, and catch y'all next time.
Catch y'all next time here on Pigskin and Piledrivers. J-Lo, Tampa Tones, Joey Nips. This has been awesome stuff here. Episode 3, really good stuff on the Buccateers. J-Lo, until this weekend, everybody have a great week. A lot of sports stuff still to be had. I'll actually be at a debate tomorrow night, so that'll be a lot of fun with Pops, checking that out. J-Lo, Enjoy your night, my friend. Until next time, brother. Fire the damn cannons. Let's bring back Mike and Levante, J-Lo.
Bring him back. Let's.
Bro, we'll put it like that.
Nice.
What's it like? I was actually there in attendance in Cleveland for Co's first career NFL touchdown, which was awesome. And,
That was awesome.
it was a great game. You could hear me on camera. I was just screaming, "Say it ain't so, Co! Say it ain't so!" Sadly, from there, the game kind of went off the rails a little. That was the last high moment of that game, but it was a great game. Overtime loss, fun time.
Yeah.
But how was that moment for you? Seeing the first, whether it was on TV, in person, wherever you were, seeing his first NFL touchdown. How was that?
Well, dude, I mean, we were at home because it was a away game. We don't travel to a lot of the away games because we can get into that later. But, to watch that and to think I wished I was there live. So to have your video was so cool. And just that, this is so cool. I mean, that was so cool for us. Catching it from Tom Brady, right? Like he's got the ball yet. I mean, first NFL touchdown means a lot, right? I mean, as a dad, that's just so cool to see. And it was fun to watch. And, it didn't have the outcome we wanted, but still the same. What a memory! What a memory to have, right? So,
and honestly,
cool.
those. One of the best guests ever, the Buccateers in the house tonight. You guys hear him on Tampa radio all the time. He's one of the best in the business. My favorite personal in the business. That's why I'm elated tonight. Growing up in the Chicago area, you're used to sports radio. That's what gets me through the day. So this man does help get me through the day, I will say, with the Pat and Aaron show at work. Nothing like it. So it's incredible. It looks like we got Stunna bumbling in. I'm Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat Donovan.
It looks like Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like you got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
And he was trying to pull me in big time. And then I was like, hey, nothing's happened with Indianapolis yet. Like, I really want to give Indy a chance. And then also I talked to Cody Gruden. Once he took over Rich McCann, it was still like, well, look, I was like, y'all just give me the opportunity to explore free agency, see what's going on, and then can I make us do it.
All right, everyone, you are tuned into the Buccateers, a wide receiver, Kalen Geiger, and we are about to have a great pod. This is the Buccateers. You're tapped in